coconut milk. It has some activated charcoal inside, which gives it the black color.
There are a lot of ingredients in Chef David Yousefzade's gourmet ice cream.
So this will actually be served with a miso caramel.
But he's hoping to add one more ingredient soon, marijuana.
For ice cream, you can add so many different flavors, so many different compounds together. So I think it's kind of the perfect match.
Yousefzadeh is already an accomplished chef. He's worked at fine dining restaurants from Hong Kong to Boston. But in 2011, he was faced with a life-altering illness, especially for a chef, Crohn's disease.
It's painful to the point where you can't go to a sporting event, go to a restaurant, go to a family function.
But he found relief with the help of CBD, the compound found in cannabis that is not psychoactive.
I would wake up and feel as if I hadn't taken any medicine.
As he looked around the marijuana edible market, Yousefzadeh wasn't impressed and thought he could make a better product. He turned to ice cream. The high fat content helps deliver the marijuana extract, which he buys as a liquid more quickly.
We really wanted something that wasn't going to feel like medicine.
Now, with the legalization of recreational marijuana, he believes that will translate into big business. His company, Cloud Creamery, plans to start selling his ice cream by the pint, this time with THC. That's the part of cannabis that does produce a high.
You had said, we were talking earlier, I said 5 years from now, we're used to business.
And I said 3 months.
You want to have a business up and running in 3 months?
Or less. We already have kind of our application in queue.
If it gets one of the state's manufacturing licenses, Cloud Creamery hopes to produce its products somewhere in Metro West, a business that without marijuana legalization would not have existed.
It's going to take a lot of marketing, branding, communicating, sales, obviously. It really depends.
Fast forward about 4 years, and Colorado might give us a look at how legalized marijuana could impact the Massachusetts economy. Sales of marijuana began in Colorado on January 1st, 2014.
We have 40,000 licensed occupational individuals who operate within the industry, and we have about 3,000 businesses.
So that's 40,000 jobs and 3,000 businesses, says Mike Hartman, who runs Colorado's Department of Revenue, charged with overseeing the marijuana industry. Sales in Colorado last year hit $1.5 billion, the state collecting 15% in taxes, about $250 million. The state budget there, though, is about $30 billion a year.
It's mildly good for the economy, but very, very mildly.
Harvard economics professor Dr. Jeff Myron has studied this topic and believes the overall impact on the economy is not actually very big, because he says studies show marijuana legalization doesn't change demand. So the main economic benefits, including employment, just move from the black market out into the open. But there are some big changes, starting with tax revenue.
My research suggests Massachusetts collects something like $180 million a year from legalization.
And then there are some other businesses who could benefit, especially because of how the federal government still views marijuana.
Marijuana in every state that's legalized is in this weird legal limbo because it's legal under the state law, but not the federal law, and the federal law is viewed as trumping the state law.
Without the federal government's blessing, marijuana retailers can't accept credit cards because big banks don't want to touch the money. Some state-chartered banks will take deposits from marijuana businesses, but that comes at a hefty cost. In Colorado, state officials believe about half the businesses do have access to banking, something the state would like to increase.
We actually think access to banking would help strengthen our regulatory environment, the ability of us as regulators to see the cash inflows and outflows of the business.
But all this means to get started, entrepreneurs like David Yousefzadeh are on their own. He says he has private investors and is ready to churn up the marijuana industry.
If you could put a dollar figure on it, what does it take to start a business like this?
$350,000 to $500,000 to get started is kind of a good starting point.
And that can be tough to do without conventional banking loans.
It's very tough. And also, where can you house that money and where do your transactions go and the price per transaction right now?
Despite the unknowns, he believes his recipe for success is his personal story.
Anyone who's going to be an investor wants to know that you're bought in. They want to know that if you're running this, not only is your own capital in it, but your heart is in it. And I think that's a big part of it.
Analysts are predicting that Massachusetts will reach $1 billion in annual sales of recreational marijuana in the next 3 years.